So again, this is 48 hours before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He was very clear and he was very explicit, and he did not back down, not in that Hamptons meeting, which they're all lying about, nor in this text thread. I'm not going to reveal the names of the other 7. Actually, you know what? I disagree with myself 4 seconds ago. Let's just throw in Josh Hammer for funsies. He's on this chat, okay?
Anyway, let's get to Charles Kirk. Candace Owens has released a text message exchange she claims proves Charlie Kirk 2 days before his murder, complaining about Jewish donors pressuring him over Israel, with Kirk allegedly saying Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes. It's so funny, and I can't stress this enough. None of this proves that, 1, Charlie Kirk was going to publicly turn on Israel, and number 2, this doesn't even prove that Israel actually assassinated him because they were fearful that he was going to turn on Israel. This is, of course, reasonable criticism about donors that Turning Point USA has, Jewish donors that Turning Point USA have, pulling out because they were so frustrated at like even a little bit of ideological division on the issue of unlimited support and loyalty to Israel. Just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Charlie says, Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes. I cannot and I will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. Please don't invite Candace, someone says. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term in my opinion. Like all groups, you're going to get a wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating at times. Candace Owens has also put a text message she claims proves her point that Charlie Kirk, now seen as a major Christian evangelical figure after her assassination, was in fact nearing Catholic conversion. Owens claims Kirk had started attending Catholic Mass as well. We should chat soon. Catholicism is looking better and better. Can you imagine if you had a single donor giving you $2+ million a year? I mean, what a lot of people don't understand is this is exactly the same as Barry Weiss getting $150 million for the free press. There are a lot of pro-Israel donors that require complete loyalty to Israel and will push and pull their money around when they feel as though a person that they're paying is no longer a decent return on said investment. And this, of course, leads to frustration from the likes of Charlie Kirk, who is stuck between a rock and a hard place, trying to manage the overall unpopularity of Israel and its primary directive of consistently defending Donald Trump with a need to hold the base together. That's it. None of that means that Charlie Kirk was going to publicly turn on Israel in the absence of Donald Trump publicly turning on Israel. It is that simple. Make no mistake. What exactly did you mean calling Candace crazy? What do you specifically mean? Precise language can help bring people together, in my opinion. Yeah, I think her theories are completely insane. Even when it comes to like Charlie Kirk being potentially assassinated by Israel. I've extensively covered it. Low key, the things that she has put together have been far too grand. No exit wound is a biggie though. Yes, there are inconsistent things with the Charlie Kirk assassination. There always will be. There always will be like people poking holes in the official narrative, and the official narrative is murky, and I don't discount that at all. It's just that if we're going to scrutinize the official narrative, we also need to scrutinize the counter narratives. And the counter narratives are the ones that are at least coming from Candace Owens. Some of them have new information that maybe the public previously had not acknowledged or knew about, but a lot of the counter narratives are just like crazy. Like, oh, there's actually a separate hole in the ground, and like it was a Jewish tunnel that someone popped out of, or it's too far-fetched for it to be potentially real. To put it simply, Candace Owens is a politics and drama YouTuber who warps celebrity news and true crime to fit primarily transphobic and anti-Semitic narratives. She also denies the Holocaust and says the real ethnic cleansing was of Germans. She's a grifter. Yeah, it's funny to see like a black woman do the whole like the Bolsheviks did the real genocide of Christians. Like, why doesn't anybody talk about that?
That when Jewish people die in Israel, it's wall-to-wall coverage. But when Christians die all over the world, nobody talks about it. Everyone wants to correlate everything to World War II. Everyone wants to talk about Adolf Hitler, and rightfully so, he was a horrific person. But nobody wants to talk about Henryk Yagoda, right? Nobody wants to talk about the Bolsheviks. Nobody wants to talk about the Christian Holocaust. I am tired of the media, exhausted of the media not speaking about what is happening to Christians all around the world.
It's like, bro, you are literally a black woman. Like, that is crazy. Like, oh, the Jews are responsible for the death of like 60 million Christians. Narrative is like a white supremacist one. Like, that's not even your gripe. You know what I mean? That's not a conversation that you're a part of at all. It's also a ridiculous statement to begin with because, like, you know, the Bolsheviks are goated, obviously. And what Christians were doing, what white Christians were doing to black women at the same time frame was not great, to say the least. Is she actually a Holocaust denier? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't like dove too much into her anti-Semitism stuff, with the exception of like that very famous like Hitler just wanted to make Germany great quote.
But if Hitler just wanted to make Germany great and have things run well, okay, fine.
Which I guess she's now saying was taken out of context, but I actually did give the full context of the quote where she was defending nationalism, German nationalism, by saying like nationalism is not a dirty word and people shouldn't actually think it's a dirty word. That was the argument that she was trying to make. But I wouldn't be shocked if she has said other things that are also in the range of Holocaust denial. It just wouldn't shock me at all. Like, Candace Owens is basically, with the exception of being anti-Israel, I would say that with the exception of being anti-Israel, every single thing that he has said, I'm not saying every single thing that she believes, because I don't know what she actually believes, because she used to be like anti-Trump, for example, back in like 2016, before she got plucked by some incredibly Islamophobic ultra-Zionists, ironically enough, right? David Horowitz, rest in piss, and Ben Shapiro, ironically enough, were the reasons why she became this like prominent fixture of Republican politics, because it was a bunch of ultra-Zionist, Islamophobic Jewish guys that literally plucked her and groomed her into becoming this force. And then she basically turned around and was like, actually, I'm anti-Semitic. And they were like, no, that's totally fine as long as you're pro-Israel. And she was like, of course I'm pro-Israel. And then she was like, I'm anti-Semitic and also anti-Israel. And they were like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? That's not how this works. You're fired. That's literally what happened. I mean, she's had every bad and wrong opinion in general. Is there an argument he was paid to say horrible stuff about Gaza? Everything Charlie Kirk does is like Brandon Carrot is a good take on this. Okay, Charlie Kirk on a show. Listen, you have to kill and starve those kids. The rapture is coming. Israel's our greatest ally. My producer says Aaron Bushnell is Colonel Crispy. Charlie Kirk on Signal. Shlomo Borowitz didn't drop the usual 2 mil. Classic move from the shysters. Yeah, that's literally it. Okay, if you think Charlie Kirk wasn't like understandably angry at like the Zionist donors that were constantly calling him an anti-Semite, because he recognized that like the floor was moving underneath these guys, and he saw it because he was constantly at college campuses. So he was around these people and he was like, guys, we have to do something about this anti-Israel sentiment. Like, we have to find a better way to communicate to Gen Z about like Israel, because like we're losing the support. This is going to be a major issue. I said this before. It's much easier to convince Americans to take an anti-Israel position on the virtues of like anti-Semitic conspiracies than it is to explain to them why America is so attached to the hip to Israel with like materialist analysis. And then on top of that, talking about like the consistent and pervasive Zionist lobby and the Zionist influence network that exists in Western society, so that the money flow doesn't stop to Israel. What do you mean anti-Semitic conspiracies? It's so much easier to convince an American that Jews control the media, and they're a monolithic group that just wants to melt the Palestinians. It's something that Jews control the media, Jews control the banks. Like these sorts of concepts already exist, like the nascent anti-Semitic conspiracies, because you could just present it as like, look at how many Jews are in positions of power, even though there aren't that many Jews, right? So that's already existed in American society and in Western society in general. There's also a long history of these sorts of takes that have played a formative role in even the Holocaust, for example, right? And numerous pogroms that took place beforehand. Like, it's a classic meta. Blame one group that you have identified as the enemy, always, in an effort not to actually address the real material harm that the overwhelming majority of the populations are experiencing.